Purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to use the local and global search feature of Loft Manager Online using your mobile device. I'm currently doing a live stream from my iPhone 7 Plus. I'm logged in to Loft Manager Online and you're currently looking at the dashboard. I'm currently on the My Birds tab. And the first feature that I'd like to point out to you is, if I scroll up a little bit here, is this quick search feature. And what you can do here is type in any portion of a band number that you would like to find. For example, I'll type in BELG, click on search, and it'll actually filter your bird data set based on whatever search criteria you've entered there. For example, I typed in BELG, so all of the band numbers that are displayed on the screen now all have BELG. Okay, so basically narrowed the data set down to 978 birds out of the total. I can take this a step further and clear the search out by clicking on Clear Search, and let's try BELG space 00 and click on Search. And now you can see I've narrowed the data set down to only 4 birds, all of which contain BELG 00. Now, whenever you have some data in this field and you're filtering your data, it's important to note that when you go to the pedigree or progeny tab and you click on the next bird button, right? That next bird button is simply going down your list of birds that you have on the My Birds table. So as you can see, the second bird is now selected. Going back to pedigree, I'll click on next again. And now the third bird is selected. I'll go back to pedigree and click on next again, and now you can see the next bird button is actually disabled. And the reason for that is because, going back to the My Birds tab, there isn't a next bird. We're on the very last bird of the list. So it's important to pay attention as to whether or not you're filtering your data here when you're in the progeny or pedigree tabs, just because these buttons here are dynamic. And if you've forgotten that you've actually filtered your data, you might be wondering why the next or previous bird buttons are disabled, right? So I can go back up the tree here by clicking on the previous bird button, and now you can see previous bird is disabled. Going back to My Birds, it's disabled because there isn't a previous bird. If I clear the search results out by clicking on the Clear Search button, and now go back to, let's just go back to pedigree or progeny, you can see that the next bird and previous bird buttons are now enabled. Just something really quick that I wanted to point out to you, because if you're playing around on the pedigree or progeny tab, it's sometimes easy to forget if you're using a filtered subset of your local birds database. The same holds true for search as well. So if I click on search, right, and I perform a search against my local birds database, it will actually only return birds that meet the search criteria. And so again, if you're on the pedigree or progeny tab and you're going to next bird, previous bird, it's only working with the search results that was returned by your previous search. So with that being said, and while I've got the search form open on the screen here, I'd like to point out a new feature. You now have the ability to search against the entire global database if you like. But first, let's go ahead and demonstrate how the local search works. I'm just going to leave the Only Search My Birds option selected. And for color, I'm just going to put in, let's just put in blue. Click on Search. And as you can see, we now have a filtered subset of the local birds database of 487 entries. So there are 487 entries in my local database which have the word blue for the color field. Okay, so some of them have blue bar, blue checker, there's different variations, but I only performed a search to show me all birds that have the word blue for color, and that's basically what I have here. I can filter that further by typing in, let's just say, blue bar. If I click on search, type in blue bar, now I'll get a more refined search result. Okay, so now you can see I've got only 237 entries which have the word blue bar, and all of the other variations, the blue checkered and so forth, have been omitted from this search result. So going back to the search form again, there's a number of different criteria here. You can search by sex, strain, you can type a keyword in for description, pet comments, pretty much all the fields that that are available to you when adding a bird are searchable. So you have the complete freedom of performing a search against any of that criteria. I'm going to clear this search result out, and I would like to dive into the global search feature now. And I'm just going to do a real quick search. I'm going to leave all these fields blank just to load some global data into the system. And as you can see, we have 626,915 entries in the global database as of this video. And if you click on one of these band numbers, it will actually display the loft owner's contact information. So if you find a bird in the global search that you're interested in purchasing, or maybe you want to make a trade, you can simply click on the band number and reach out to the owner by phone or email address and negotiate a deal. Scrolling down a little bit further here, I do want to point out that birds that are actually flagged as being in the loft will actually be denoted as such with a little asterisk that says this bird is currently in loft, and there'll be an asterisk next to the band number. So this particular bird that I just clicked on, which is A21649/13, which is right here, is in loft in terms of the location. This is the location column. And so just comparing that again to some of the other birds, like if I click on the one above it, you'll notice that this one here doesn't have the asterisk. So if you're interested in only finding birds that are flagged as being in the loft, you can actually just go back to the search field, bring up the global search again, and for location, just type in loft, click on search, and this will pretty much guarantee you that all of the birds are actually in the loft. So clicking on any of these, as you can see, they're all in the loft. So that basically concludes the tour of the local and global search features. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to shoot us an email. Thanks again. Have a great day.